Hey guys, and welcome, and thank you for joining me for today's shave. Today's going to be the first full shave video in my series where I am reviewing or looking at modern shaving equipment. So the first video in the series was just kind of an intro, my inspiration behind this, and this is going to be the first shave video. So in today's shave, I'm going to be using a traditional shaving soap. I'm going with Barrister & Man Seville. And for my shaving brush, the Razor Rock Plus Soft. This is just the regular one. I believe it's a 24mm knot. And then for the razor, I'm going with the Gillette Fusion Pro Shield. So if you guys didn't see my intro video, this whole video series was inspired by a shave I had last weekend. You can see the full story in my intro video, but basically I was traveling out of town. I had my Mercor 34C with me, didn't have razor blades with me. I couldn't carry them on the airplane, couldn't find razor blades anywhere else, and I had to shave for a wedding. So I went to the local grocery store and I picked up a Gillette Fusion Pro Shield because this was the newest Gillette razor out there, and they said this is, their best one ever. So I said, I just gotta shave, might as well pick this up. And actually I shaved with this thing with using a nice shaving soap and brush. I was using K's Bubbles, and using proper technique, I actually got a pretty good shave with this Gillette Fusion Pro Shield. As I mentioned before, it wasn't a terribly close shave. It was close enough, but I didn't have any irritation. When it comes down to it, for me, that's the most important thing. That's why I came over to using a safety razor and a brush and all these products in the first place, because I had such terrible irritation. My neck used to just be solid ingrown hairs. It was something I was really self-conscious about, and I hated it. So that's what led me down this path in the first point. And ever since then, I've just pushed aside, the shaving creams and gels that come out of like a can, cartridge razors, the whole deal. But this last weekend was the first time in like 4 years I was kind of forced to use a cartridge razor, and it actually worked well. Really sticking to proper technique, using light pressure, proper 3-pass shave. I did 1 pass with the grain, 1 cross grain in one direction, then cross grain in the other direction. Actually worked out pretty well. So just for full disclosure with you guys, I wanted to share this with you. My shaving channel is obviously all about traditional wet shaving methods and kind of introducing you guys to this, reviews, and hopefully teaching you something along the way. But for full disclosure, I really wanted to, tell you guys, I had this experience with a cartridge razor and it actually went pretty well. So thank you guys for being merciful. When I first posted a picture on Instagram, people went crazy over there. In the intro video, you guys have been awesome, dropping comments, really supportive actually. And it's been actually surprising to me because a lot of the guys out there who are traditional wet shavers, they in times of need will go to cartridge razors, and I don't blame anybody for that, but I kind of took a strict line when I started wet shaving like this with a safety razor. I didn't really look back ever. I always made sure I had my safety razor with me and blades. But it was really comforting to know that other guys out there will use these in times of need. Anyway, so like I mentioned, I picked up this Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. This has 5 razor blades on the head, which is just ridiculous. If you're looking to get less irritation, I think that shaving with 5 razor blades at the same time is not your ticket to an irritation-free shave. That's one huge benefit of a safety razor. Single blade in there, so you can control the cutting a lot easier, in my opinion. Anyway, this is their latest and greatest. I did some research. Gillette Fusion came out in 2006. And then they came out with like the Pro Guard, Pro Shield version in 2010. And in 2015, they came up with this Flex Ball version. I'm going to go ahead and open this thing up. This is obviously a brand new razor here. I'll mention that in a second, why I have a brand new razor. So it's got this. It's the you have a cartridge style razor here. You can see the 5 blades here lined up. There you go, 5 blades there. There's 1 blade here along the back for kind of trimming around your sideburns. One thing nice about cartridge razors is that the head moves like this, so it kind of contours to your face a little bit more. This is their Flex Ball version, so they put in this little ball mechanism thing here that kind of rotates. It's supposed to help contour to your face. Anyway, that's the razor I'm going to be using today. So I actually have 2 of these handles now. This one and the one I bought in California, I wanted to get some refill blades for it, but buying 4 blades was $18. That's $4.50 per cartridge, which is just ridiculously expensive. If you're coming to safety razor shaving for any reasons, for looking for closer shaves, looking for less irritation, or just looking to save some money, I totally understand. Those are all great reasons to come over to, this wet shaving movement. This is just incredibly expensive. Even if this gives a great shave, I would never buy one of these in the future just on the economics alone. I think $4.50 for a replacement cartridge here is just ridiculous. I think that Gillette's probably making a pretty hefty sum on this thing. Anyway, pretty hefty profit. So it was $18 to get a 4-pack of replacement blades. It's the smallest size replacement pack you can get. But to get a new razor handle with a fresh blade was $10. Since I don't plan on using this thing long term, I just picked this up. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with today's shave. I'm eager to see how this thing turns out. Just got a shower, facial hair is nice, cleaned out, hydrated, ready to go. I have a day and a half of facial hair growth. As I mentioned previously, I'm going to be using Barrister and Mann Seville shaving soap. I have the puck here. It was blooming while I was in the shower. Blooming's just putting some hot tap water on top of the puck, letting it sit there. I just put it on before I get in the shower, and then when I get out of the shower, I take this bloom water and add it to my face. What this helps do is loosen up the top layer of soap on your puck. Makes it a little bit easier to load. But I also really like using the bloom water. You have to add some water to your face anyway to start shaving, and having the soap already dissolved in the water I think adds a really nice base layer. Alright. Oops, I think I missed the trash can. Alright, so I'm going to clean off this hand that had the bloom water on it because it's just going to be slippery from the soap. Dry it off on the towel. Get a little alum on my fingers. I just keep this little alum. I have the RazoRock little, I think it's the travel one because it's got a little case. Get some on my fingers. Gives you great grip on any shaving brush or razor for that matter. Just going to wet it here in the sink. Since this is a synthetic brush, I didn't soak it ahead of time. It's a definite plus for synthetic brushes. You don't have to worry about pre-soaking them. Alright, go ahead and load up. Well, something else I wanted to mention was people reached out on the last video and said, oh, don't use the Gillette. That's, there's 5 blades in there. It's kind of a crappy razor. But they mentioned, a lot of people were mentioning other razors that they like. They mentioned the Gillette Guard. That's a cartridge razor that has a single blade in there. There's the Track 2 from Gillette, which has 2 blades in there. There you go, plenty of soap load up. I'm going to go into a face lather. And the Track 2, I guess, always also takes some Persona blades. Persona makes their own cartridge blades to put in there. There's also the Mach 3. There's a lot of support for the Gillette Mach 3. That's a cartridge razor with 3 blades in there. Anyway, this is the Fusion, so it has 5 blades in there. Beautiful lather. I'm very happy with this. Excellent. Just kind of painting it over, evening it out. Looks good. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this shave started. This is never a video I thought I would ever be making, me using a cartridge razor on this channel. So thanks you guys for being open-minded about this. But I know I get better shaves from a safety razor, and that's why I use them, and I'm very passionate about safety razor shaving. But, to just try to make this a little bit more scientific, I just want to make sure that, I didn't overlook something here, with these razors, because it gave me an alright shave. So, just wanted to give it a shot here on the channel and share it with you guys. So thank you for your patience. Don't give up on my channel. As soon as I'm done with this little experiment series, I'm going to be back to using a safety razor. That is my main armament for shaving and always will be. But nonetheless, to add some scientific validity, I think it's worth kind of having something to compare it to now that I have better technique while I shave. You know, in the science world, there's, you know, they kind of rate the level of a scientific study. You know, the top type of study is like a meta-analysis, the second type's a randomized controlled trial. Anyway, there's all these different types of trials, and they're ranked in how powerful they are. You know, and the lowest level of evidence is expert opinion, so I won't even call myself an expert, but at the very least, this experiment is of the lowest quality, so just take it with that. And I think the most important thing when you guys are shaving is do what works for you. You know, if you get great shaves doing XYZ, you know, using olive oil, whatever, if you shave upside down, whatever you do, do that. Don't let anyone tell you what you should be doing. Just do what works for you. You know what works best, but I encourage you guys to experiment and try different things so you know what works best for you and you're not just taking someone's opinion for it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Taking the razor here, dipping it in the hot tap water in my sink. First pass with the grain, I'm going to be really focusing on light pressure. I will say, this thing is, it's a little mindless to shave with a cartridge razor because you don't really have to pay attention to the angle because the adjustable head on here will just kind of fit. So if you're coming in like this, it'll fit to your face. If you're coming in like this, it'll fit to your face. With this little flex ball thing, it'll just kind of make itself work out and sit flush to your face. So it's a little bit easier to shave with, I will say that. We'll say it's comfortable thus far. This is where I've traditionally had problems with cartridge razors on my neck, so I'm going over it very, very lightly. Ooh, I just think I cut myself a little bit. Alright, first pass. Feels pretty good. Good slickness left on my skin. I definitely nicked myself a little bit right here. Very comfortable shave here on my face for sure. Very, very comfortable. Where it got uncomfortable is here on my neck. These are my problem areas right here that I've always had with cartridge razors. I could definitely feel that. Just there. Did not feel great. It's just weird tugging around here. These are tough areas for me to shave. Alright, let's go back to the brush. Second lather for my second pass. Just ate a little bit of shaving lather. Doesn't taste great. Alright, I have hair here, my wife's hairs. Alright, second pass, cross grain in this direction. Oh man, I'm really starting to get some weird tugging here in my neck, kind of in these areas right here. These are always problem areas for me, I mentioned before. I used to get a lot of ingrown hairs along my neck using cartridge razors, and that's why I went to safety razor shaving. And I'm starting to get some of that weird tugging. I really don't like it, so I'm going to try to use super light pressure here. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. Alright, so overall now, 2 passes. Feeling pretty good actually up here on my face. Feels fairly close, and it's been very comfortable shaving up here. This area's been a little hard for me to shave in. Kind of this little like dimple area here on my neck, or on my chin rather. Down here my neck has sucked though. This has been having some weird tugging down here, and I really don't like that. Sorry, my dog's in here with me. See what he's got. Oh, he's got a safety razor cover, of course. Alright. Anyway, yeah, I've had some weird tugging here on my neck, and I really don't like that. It felt bad. It feels like I'm getting razor burn there. So, future passes here, I'm just going to stick to my my face and leave my neck alone. That's close enough. Alright, third pass here. Third lather application. Even though I'm not going to shave my neck, I'm just going to apply it down there to help keep the moisture in. Alright, third pass, make sure this thing's cleaned out. Alright, cross grain this direction. Alright, gonna leave it at that. That feels pretty good. Just gonna feel around here. I'm not really planning on doing a cleanup pass because I've already gone over 3 full passes, which is 15 blade passes over the skin, which I think is more than enough. Just any area that I really need to kind of get a little bit cleaned up here. And I just wanted to once again say that I'm using very light pressure, barely setting this thing on my skin. I'm trying the back side of the razor here because there's that single razor blade. Seeing if it helps. It actually helped getting underneath my nose. That was actually pretty cool. That worked out well. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I think you guys can see I got a few little spots of blood here. I definitely got some red spots here on my neck already. So not a great sign, but we'll leave it at that. I'm going to go ahead and get cleaned up. Alright, so that was my full shave with the Gillette Fusion something or other. I can't remember the full name. Pro Glide, Flex Ball, something like that. This razor. So, good parts. It was comfortable to use. It's easy to use because it kind of dials in the correct angle for you automatically. Very comfortable shaving here on my face. Up here. Right down here is a little bit problematic. It wasn't problematic per se. I can just feel it really tugging right here in my goatee area, right here on the sides of my mouth. So I didn't get crazy close on there, but the rest of it's actually a fairly close shave. I'm pretty happy with that. My neck was a different story. Can you guys see these red marks here? I'm already getting, I've got some here, there's a little bleeder here. I am definitely going to have some ingrown hairs. Luckily enough, this past weekend I didn't really experience too much tugging down here. But this was pretty uncomfortable shave here on my neck. I just think it's pretty unrealistic if you have sensitive skin to shave with 5 razor blades at once. That's just kind of ridiculous. You know, if the idea would be to take it easy if you get a lot of irritation to decrease that, but that's kind of against what all the readily available modern shaving stuff is kind of throwing in your face when you go to a pharmacy or grocery store. It's kind of like, buy the newest, best, greatest, like 5 blades, 6 blades, whatever. I think Schick has one out there with 6 blades in it. Anyway, I don't think that's the ideal way to shave if you have live irritation. If you have super hardy skin and a thick beard and your skin can just take all kinds of abuse, then maybe this kind of razor is great for you. My dad actually has pretty benign skin. Nothing really bothers his skin, so he can just go with this and just jump in straight. He uses a great shaving soap, a shaving brush. He's got a Chubby 2 and Best Badger 2, and he just jumps in straight against the grain. That's just ridiculous. I could never do that, but his skin puts up with it fine. He gets close shaves every day, no irritation, so that works for him. So, I support that. If that's what works for you. This does not work for me. I'm really not happy. I can already feel a little bit of burning here. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to put on some aftershave. So this is the Fine Snake Bite. This is an alcohol-based aftershave. It's unscented, has a ton of menthol in there. The cooling sensation is pretty nice. I'm enjoying that. I'm definitely going to be blinking a lot after this. Okay, yeah, so as I expected, not much burning up here on my face, but a lot of burning with the alcohol down here. It just kind of goes to show that I definitely irritated the skin, because if you irritate the skin, sorry, I'm going to be blinking from this menthol, it always happens to me. It'll go away in a minute. If you irritate the skin, you're taking off like a first layer or two of skin, just like a little bit there, but it's enough that the nerve ends are a little bit more exposed, so if you put on alcohol in there, it's going to really burn. Yeah. As you guys can see, I'm getting already some red spots here and there. That kind of sucks, but whatever. Doing it for experimentation purposes. So today I'm going to add in for my aftershave balm, the Integrity by Soap Commander. This is unscented. Going with unscented because I'm going to be putting on some cologne later. Alright, so that was my shave with the cartridge razor. Overall takeaways, it shaved great on my face. It really sucked shaving on my neck. Definitely have irritation there. And it sucks because I'm going to a shaving meetup tomorrow and people are definitely going to be judging me there for having some irritation on my neck, but that's okay. I don't really care. They can deal with it. So would I go back to this? In a pinch, I would definitely go back to this if I needed to. It works okay. But would I use this for my daily shaver anymore? Absolutely not. I think there's much better options that work so much better for me. So I'm not happy that it didn't work well for me, but I'm happy because it's reaffirmed my my decision to go with safety razors, and I can definitely say that safety razors work better for my skin. I'm happy to know that. Just once more, to just go back, just for old time's sake, I can definitely say that safety razors are my razor. So anyway, thank you for joining me for today's shave. In the next episode of this series, I'm going to be shaving with my Mercor 34C and going to a new modern, or a, people were mentioning I was saying modern, I'm going to go with Barbasol, see how this stuff works. So this is not a modern shaving soap. I was looking this up, or shaving cream. This stuff in the can, this came out in the 1950s from Barbasol. People mention, maybe I should pick up some of the new Gillette gel stuff, or the Edge gel stuff. So I might do that. For right now, I'm going to go with the Barbasol and see how this works out. So anyway, that was today's episode. Thank you guys again for accepting me doing this this video series. I do appreciate your guys' patience with my experimentation. As always, thank you for watching.